Because the same folk who are praising God in the pew are the same folk who point their finger at you and says, hey, just because you preaching don't mean that you bigger than me. And you do know that people in the pew will challenge you. Amen. Not only will they challenge you, but they will really test to see just how saved. Y'all won't talk to me. Anemic faith is a faith that's timid. It's a faith that really don't have confidence in the Lord. It's a faith that really don't know the Lord as Lord. It's a faith that is timid in circumstances when storm comes. It's a faith that allows me to do what I need to do or do what I think I need to do first before I really run to the master and get his involvement in it. You know, Lord, I got this. And then we only turn it over when the situation really becomes not just messy, but a serious mess. Well, y'all don't want to talk to me here. It surprises me how folk really come to the Lord. Matter of fact, God uses mess to really get a whole lot of us saved. Y'all have any real saints in the house? Yeah, I mean, I was in I can't talk about y'all because then you're going to get on Facebook and talk about the pastor talking about me. But I can talk about me. I was in a serious mess before I finally surrendered and said, Lord, I surrender. I surrender. I surrender all to me. I was in a mess when I finally came and said, Father, I stretched my hands. I was in a mess when I really learned my favorite song, Hold On to God's Son. Come on here. Time is filled with swift. I wish somebody helped me here. It took a mess for me to connect with that. It took a mess for me to realize that, yes, it's good to know friends, but there's nobody like a friend like Jesus. I mean, it took a mess for me to really understand that I got to stop talking about faith and really having serious faith in the Lord. And so he talks about the nature. He questioned the very nature of the disciples. Now remember, he's Lord. He called the disciples. He called each and every one of them. But yet he comes around and questions the very nature of their faith, which lets us know that there comes a time in all of our lives when we have to really question our faith. And the best time to question our faith, watch this, is after the Lord, watch this now, after the Lord brings us out of a storm. All right. That's the time we really need to sit down and take inventory of our faith. Y'all don't want to talk to me here. That's the time. I know you want to dance, and I know you want to be like Miriam, pick up the tambourine and begin to play and sing your song of praise to the Lord. But here in Mark chapter 4, verse 40, Jesus says that's really the time you need to sit down and take inventory of your faith in him. He says, why are you so fearful? He says, why are you so fearful? You see, being timid when danger is around is a dangerous thing. Because when you are timid in the face of danger, you give danger the upper hand. That's right. Look at the children of Israel. Matter of fact, look at the army of Israel when they come up to Goliath. Now, prior to them coming up to Goliath, they never lost a battle. I mean, never lost. Matter of fact, not one person ever died in the army. They were engaged in serious combat. I mean, they had spears, they had swords, and they were killing people, but none of them ever died. All right. Now, all of a sudden, they encounter someone who's larger than life. I mean, everybody in the Middle East is really you really don't have tall people in the Middle East. The average per height in the Middle East is about 6 feet. Now here they come. They're dealing with somebody who's at least 9.5 feet tall. I mean, he's larger than Andre the Giant. All right. He's who was the basketball player for Yao Ming? He's taller than Yao Ming was 7.5 feet tall. So he's taller than. Come on, help me here. He's bigger than Shaq. Shaq wears a size 22 shoe size. So his feet was larger than. Come on, help me here. Was larger than Shaq. He made Shaq look like he was a top. He's a 9.5 feet tall man, and the very army who was never defeated is now paralyzed. That's what the book said. They paralyzed. They can't do anything until here comes a young 4.5 foot tall, freckle-faced, red hair, ruddy-looking boy who comes around and says, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine talking all of this noise?" Can I contemporize it in my own language? When I was coming up, they were saying, "Who is this man selling all these wolf tickets?" He tells Saul, look, if God has delivered me and allowed me to defeat the bear and the lion, it's just a piece of cake. And with faith in God, he takes off of Saul's armor, because the Bible says that David said that Saul's armor hadn't been tried. In other words, it looked good, but it hadn't been tested. Hadn't been anything. And that's the problem. Let me just kind of stop there and kill this rabbit since I see this rabbit jumping up out of this bush. You know, that's the problem that we got with a whole lot of Christians today. They look good, but hadn't been through anything. Got pretty shiny armor. Got a brand new leather Bible. I wish somebody helped me here. Not a bonded leather Bible, but a genuine leather Bible. Got the little things on the side of it, so you ain't got to look in the table of contents. You can just be smooth. When the preacher talks about finding the book and you don't know what the book is, you know, I got this, I got this. I mean, you looking good, but you hadn't been through anything. You don't have no nicks and scratches on your armor because you haven't been through anything. And when the first battle, real test comes, you're going to be paralyzed. What happened to the disciples? The disciples get in the storm and they don't know what to do. They're paralyzed. Jesus said, man, you need to look at the nature of your faith. And there comes a time in all of our lives when we really need to look at the nature of our faith. You got to look at it. 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 Now, Jesus asked the question, why are you so fearful? But in 41, the text says that the disciples, watch this, was fearful exceedingly. Now the word fear or fear that's related to the disciples is a different word than the word fearful that the Lord used, which suggests that what Jesus saw, the disciples had no clue. The word fearful in 41 suggests that they were reverent toward the Lord. Now that's good. Because you always need to be reverent toward the Lord. You need to respect the Lord for who he is. He is Lord. He's not just the kid Jesus that you grew up with. He is, come on, he's not just a baby. Even that baby, he's still Lord. He could not speak English or the King's English. I'm sorry, Greek or Hebrew in the biblical times. He's still Lord. So they respected him for who he is. But the problem with that kind of fear was that every time a struggle came up, every time a storm came up, they ran. They flee. They wanted, watch this, they wanted the Lord to remove the obstacle instead of giving them the strength to go through the obstacle. And that's what real faith is, because real faith never asks the Lord to remove the mountain. Real faith allows us to